Al Pals. This is Big Al. Welcome to Big Al Presents Films with Friends, the film. The 1960 Alfred Hitchcock masterpiece, Psycho. And yes, you read it right. If you are not seated before we start the Cosby show, you can't join. That's just the way it's going to be. We'll talk a little about that in a minute, actually. Of course, that is the film. The Friends, of course, you know, when I think Psycho, I think this man, Troy Pacelli. Last call with Troy
Good
Pacelli.
evening.
How are you doing, sir? What you drinking tonight?
I'm having a Diet Dr. Pepper. I was thinking about Irishing it up a little bit because I didn't feel like really satisfied last night. I had this moonshine that was 30% alcohol by volume. No, you oh yeah, it's 60 proof, 30% by volume. And I swear to you, I didn't even get buzzed last night. I'm like, I missed out.
Not a good moonshine. Moonshine should leave you in the...
I know. I'll be more careful next time I go to the shop.
Hunched, and knowing this for a fact, not because I did it, because I had some relatives of mine that it should leave you passed out on a picnic table, needing hosed off in the morning. That's what I think of when I think of moonshine. But anyway, thank you, Troy, for joining. I, of course, have my sweet tea with a Diet Mountain Dew ready to go after if I run that down. Also joining us, of course, the lovely, the beautiful, the woman who we will all be picturing in the shower tonight.
That's creepy.
Betters Network. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I got some things done today I wanted to get done. But, you know, last night, Troy made the faux pas of giving me warm wine.
Yeah.
The bottle's now in the refrigerator getting cold.
She was only able to drink 2 glasses of it because she hates warm wine.
It was a glass and a half.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You know,
fair.
I'm kind of with you. I like a cold chilled wine. Is my preferred way to go. Unless it's a port.
I don't like wine. A warm wine tastes ugh. I am now drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper as well.
I got to agree with you on that. A port should be warm.
Yeah,
I think most reds for me should be room temperature. Mm-hmm. White wines, I don't mind chilled, and especially an Asti Spumante, that's got to be chilled.
Oh, Asti. Yeah, nice Asti is always
because I don't drink French wines.
Yeah. But
you just married a French lady.
Well, French Canadian.
Yes.
It's not that's not too French.
That's like a redneck French. But anyway, let's see who is joining us in the chat. Lady Mist, who was here at Dark 30. 5.
Dark 30.
She was here, and this is quite a coincidence. The first one on here is at 5:26 p.m., which is my birthday, 5:26. So thank you. That was very, very good timing there. Then, of course, I said hello to her and hoping that everybody enjoys the show. And, of course, putting the Cosby link at the top. So that is ready to go. FKHC 2005, also known as Tim, is here. JPRPH1, thank you for joining us. Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube, thank you for joining us. Going down. There's Network. Say a hi, sweetie, to everybody. Last call with Troy Pacelli saying hi. Geek Flag with Nate Knows 1973 joining in. Sir Torque Game, welcome, sir. Going down, Space Fraggle. I love that name.
I do
Space
too.
Fraggle.
Yeah,
that's a great name. Deleted Scenes, salute, sir. Thank you for joining in. Deleted Scenes will be joining me on Friday for the Friday Films with Friends. We are going to be watching The Crawling Eye from 1958. it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope people will join us then. Going down the list. Is anybody else? Samuel Proctor, welcome, sir. Thank you for joining in. Going down to you, everybody. One Bridge 11. Is that how?
Yep.
Is that how you say it? One Bridge 11?
I guess so. Sure.
Or One Bridge 11? I don't know. Any fans of the Critical Drinker here? I've seen some of his stuff. I like, he's
I was saying, probably just about everybody here, has either at least seen some of the Critical Drinker's stuff or is an avid fan. And I can call myself an avid fan. That guy's nuts. I love him, but he is sharp. He knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah. Him and also the guy.
But Nate says, "Hey Troy, my wife is French, so watch it."
Yeah, well, she's your wife. I don't.
It's like I'm French Canadian on my father's side.
We're both spoken for.
Yeah, French Canadian on my father's side and English on my mom's side.
You're talking about being sharp with reviews. Another guy I like is the one who does the pitch meetings.
Oh, that's cool.
What's his name?
His stuff. I can't think of it right now.
An Inconvenience.
Yeah.
Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really?
I don't know.
Slasher
I'm going to
Fred.
need you to get all the way off my back.
Slasher
Hey, we also have
Slasher Fred.
Slasher Fred. Well, I think that makes Psycho such a classic is that it was the
Ryan George.
Jumpy.
Sorry. Precursor to the slasher genre. It's interesting because, and we'll probably get into this as we go.
Also a vicious serial killer on the rampage.
But I my understanding is that they drew a lot of inspiration from Ed Gein for Psycho, and the same is true for what's it called? What was that next slasher with the chainsaw? Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
yeah.
Excuse me, I had to take a sip. A little thing you may not, a little weird little note. I've never seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I plan to. I've got it in my queue to watch this year. I'm finally going to watch it. I think I almost watched it once, but I wasn't able to because of something. It was a work thing. But I have never had a chance to see that.
I saw it in, I want to say grade school. It was at a Halloween party. It was on VHS, and I got to be honest, I wasn't paying much attention to it because party, so.
Yeah, it just I think it was like it just was before that and Halloween. I came too late because by the time I started being able to see slashers, that's when Jason hit.
Yeah.
So Jason was like the first one I really got into. So it took me a while to get to Michael Myers and Leatherface. Or I still haven't gotten to Leatherface. So gotta get that one off my list. But do want to thank everyone for being here. Like I said, the Cosby link is at the top. Unfortunately, though, don't have any subtitles tonight. They just
I failed you all. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
it wasn't easy.
Well, yeah. If they don't, if they don't work, don't work. Nothing you can do about it. Just. I almost slipped into Rocky for some reason. You got to do what you got to do, Sometimes it don't work,
Yeah.
God, I do a terrible Stallone.
So do I, so it's fine.
But, even Stallone does a terrible Stallone.
Yeah.
Slasher Fred saying, I think that what makes Norman Bates such a famous slasher villain is that he is the kind of person the victims trust. Because in the 70s, you had Michael. In the 80s, you had your Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. Throughout the late 70s, early 80s, it was very much these monstrous characters. It's like no one would trust them. But the reality is that most real-world psychopaths tend to be
very sociable.
They know how to lure you in.
A little self promotion here. I just did a 10-word review on a new Netflix film called Woman of the Hour, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. I think that was it. And it's based on the dating game having a contestant on their Bachelor number 3 was a serial killer, and
Yes, yes, yes.
it's kind of based on that. But yeah, he was
Wasn't it Ted Bundy or something like that? Someone
uh
famous ended up
yeah,
being famous.
it was like, oh god, Ronald Curry. Now I mean, he's famous for that, but
Yeah.
It wasn't Ted Bundy.
Oh,
I don't know the name like off the top of my head, but you know, he's able to be very charming, get the ladies in. And then he
oh, yeah.
couldn't
I'm sorry.
control this
It was Rodney Alcala.
Rodney
That's who it
Alcala. Yeah,
was.
that's who it is.
Yeah.
And he just suddenly the creepy vibe would come in,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what happened. But the girl who had the dating game and chose him
Mm-hmm.
just got
Yeah.
creeped out by him and just
Yeah.
said, "Nope, it ain't gonna happen." So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a Woman of the Hour. It's an okay. It's 2.5. You're curious, but yeah, let's get some Psycho happening here.
People usually
Get our
don't say
Psycho
that to me.
on. Let's get our Psycho on here.
Absolutely.
Like I said, Cosby link at the top, and I have got to hit the right button here on my own computer so I don't go crazy. And I thought I had this open for some reason, but I guess it didn't. Once everybody is set and ready, one of Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece that I mentioned at the beginning, that when this movie came out, you could not get in if you weren't there at the beginning, which I love even today. I think you should lock the door. Nobody should come in, halfway, like 5 minutes into the film with their popcorn trying to find a seat.
Yep.
Bugs the hell out of me. But anyway, that's just me. But I just love it, and it's just a great way to run a movie, especially it makes people go, "Ooh, I need to get there fast." So
Right.
boom, great marketing. Okay, ready? You ready to go?
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
I
The
swear every
Genesis
time I see
device.
this, it's the Genesis effect. Exactly. It's exactly right.
I gotta credit you that way when you mentioned that to me today.
And you can't unsee that, right?
Yeah, now that's all I see is the Genesis device.
So this film, you'll see in just a moment, takes place on Netter's birthday.
Does it?
Yes, it does. I thought you knew that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, you'll see in a moment.
You're telling me I was
Alfred
born a
Hitchcock.
psycho?
Yeah, well,
Psycho.
Kinda. Well, assuming this is set in 1960, I think you're
I
supposed to
wasn't
assume.
born in
Well,
1960. You're
but
making me older than I am?
The date is your birthday.
Vera Miles, one of Hitchcock's go-to girls.
Absolutely.
Martin Balsam.
And I do appreciate that Tim dropped the picture of Ed Gein in the meme slot.
Yeah. I said you can do the Cosby chat. I got the other one up. I'm doing my own copy.
Oh, yeah, Tim. You better believe I remember John Wayne Gacy. I literally stayed up till midnight the night they executed him. Just wanted to make sure the deed was done. He was like the boogeyman here in the Chicago area.
See, I didn't need to use that icon. Of course, I didn't have a duck in mind. But
That's funny. And this is such iconic music, too.
Yeah.
This is right up there with all the John Carpenter, horror themes.
Or even even though the movies are weird, the music is cool for Friday the 13th films. There's some good music there. The wah wah watch stuff and
I did not realize that it was Vera Miles in the trailer and not Janet Leigh. That's interesting. Okay, so here we get our setting, right? And they set this up. It's not really set up as a horror film. This is very much one of those Phoenix, Arizona. This is like really a Hitchcock, crime story,
Oh, we can see the Dragnet dudes?
Friday, December the 11th. See?
Okay, now I gotta see what day in whatever.
Yeah, do they say it's 2:43 p.m.? It's got to be, I think this is on a Friday. I think that's important because, it's the end of the business week.
Mm-hmm. What a great shot going right into the room.
Yeah, I didn't like the jump cut as they turn. I understand why they did it. It's not like it was a drone shot or something.
Hello.
Yeah. This was kind of scandalous back then.
Yeah, because that guy's got huge nipples.
Well, and, a married guy having an affair and kind of showing the affair.
Oh, afternoon delight.
Yeah, exactly.
Janet Leigh is such a beautiful woman.
Oh, yeah.
Nice back. You know me and backs. Love a back on a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel Proctor has a family in Phoenix. Nice city.
Well, they got nice weather, I can say that. Well, maybe I should say consistent weather. And if you like the weather, it's nice weather.
But you want to know what's weird about Phoenix?
Hmm.
When I think of Phoenix, I always think of Fire in the Sky when it got hit by a comet.
Oh, okay.
You remember that, Richard Crenna?
Sure.
I might have to pull that out one day. Ba-boom.
That's a great meme. Mother and daughter, right? Two scream queens.
Mm-hmm. Did she say boil up a steak?
Probably she said broil.
Oh, boy, I would hope so. I mean, you could boil a steak. I'd still eat it, but,
I mean, I suppose that's fine if you're making some sort of a beef broth for soup or something. But, the steak's going to be a little meh.
A little bland and leathery.
Yeah, kind of, British food. Yeah, and we've kind of been talking over the dialogue, but if you really listen to what they're saying to each other, it's pretty steamy stuff.
Okay, December 11th fell on a Friday in 1964.
Yeah, so I guess it would have to be 1964 because I think it was important that this story takes place on a Friday because the bank was closed. And her crime wouldn't be discovered until Monday.
Monday, yeah.
I mean, it's possible this could have been in the late 50s.
Or it could, probably it was just a matter of just popped out of someone's mind and just put it down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they probably didn't think those details through that much. And let's face it, if we're honest, they didn't give a year, so you can't really say they were wrong.
Right.
John Gavin was the ambassador to Mexico under Reagan. I did not make that connection there, Sir Torrin. Wow, that really sucks. Nate says Anthony Perkins learned of his AIDS diagnosis from a tabloid because the nurse sold the test results
Oh,
to the
man.
National Enquirer.
Oh, I hope he sued the crud out of her.
I'm sure he did. But that does lead me to a bit of analysis that I was going to make about this movie. We were talking last night about the differences between the film and the original story, and Anthony Perkins plays this character very much more introverted, shy, quiet, less manic than he's described in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I always felt that he brought some of his own real world experience to this role. And I don't mean that Anthony Perkins was a murderer or something like that. But as a closeted gay man, he had to hide a lot of his proclivities. And I'm sure he drew on that as an actor.
Tim's saying Anthony Perkins' widow died on 9/11 too.
Interesting.
Didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, Hitch's cameo, exactly. I'd buy it off.
I have to say, that's an ugly hat. That just does not work for him.
It doesn't fit exactly right.
Right. It's just something's wrong with it.
And
Oh,
I just
she was on Flight 11. That's the one that hit
yeah.
which one? Flight 11. Was that the first one? Second one?
I don't know.
The North Tower. Okay.
Yeah. Smart Alec.
This guy's like such a sleaze.
He's got a bolo tie. That says something.
Yeah, well,
Western.
you know,
it's Western.
very Texan, yeah.
Arizona, yeah. Just hate that hat.
You know what it is? It's not a Stetson, and his character and everything else about him says it should be a Stetson. No kidding.
That's a big envelope.
Yup.
Dun, dun.
And what, she's supposed to take that to the bank or something?
Yeah, it needs to be in the bank before they close for the weekend.
Just a headache. It's amazing how they were able to go home because they had a headache. You
Yeah, but-
tried to pull that stuff today, and they're like, stop being a wuss.
The implication is that there's more going on than the headache.
Yeah. Psycho also deals with guilt because Marion Crane deals with embezzling money that
Yes.
lost trust her deposit. Norman Bates is dealing with the guilt of him committing. Spoiler!
Yeah. Right.
I know. The film's like,
you also-
you know, 60s.
You also have and this kind of leads back to what you were talking about with the whole shtick of you must be in the theater and see it from the beginning. It's really two different stories. You know, you have Marion's story up till midpoint, right? And then it's Norman's story from that point on. They do overlap.
But it's, you know, Hitchcock loved to do that little dipsy-do. You know,
Yeah,
little fake
exactly.
out.
Plus, he knew how to frame scenes, right? We entered this scene with a cut from one scene to the other, focused on that money. And even right now, she just keeps looking at that money, looking at that money, looking at that money.
Yeah, but the
Temptation.
fact that she's got it sitting just on the bed like that just seems weird. Why isn't it still in her purse, or why didn't she pack it in the suitcase already? You know?
I think it's part of her. Like, she has to keep an eye on it. Like,
there's that.
what am
but
I
then
really going to do with it? It's like she has to see it because she's still thinking about what she may do with it.
But also from the cinematic point of view, we need to be able to see it so that we know that her mind is focused on it. It could,
Right.
in a normal world, it would be sitting in her purse. But for the audience, we need to see it so we know how much she's focusing on it.
Hitchcock once said that that if you cannot build drama if you have two people in a room with a bomb under the desk, unless you show the bomb. You just can't show the explosion. You got to build that tension of the ticking bomb. That is the ticking bomb.
Yeah.
So how much money did she steal?
Oh, I don't know. It was a lot of money.
He walk right by. Dut, 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 dut.
Isn't that her boss?
Yep.
$40,000.
He's like, wait.
I was going to say it was a lot of money back then, but that's a lot of money now. The point is, though, that $40,000 for her was worth,
Right.
this risk that she's taking.
Well, back 1960, 40,000 probably set you up for life.
Oh, yeah. And that's what
you played it right.
That's really what it has to be, right? If you're going to upend your whole life, the money has to be enough for you to, be able to make an escape, so to speak. It would be $423,222.82 today, Tim says.
Yeah, 426,000. Yeah, I was looking it up
Wait
myself
until you
as
see.
well.
Wait till you see how inflation impacts it next year. If we have this same conversation next year, it'd be a very different conversation.
But yeah, that's almost $500,000 conceptually. I'd be set for life.
Yeah. In the 80s, a lot of actors were kind of coming out. It wasn't that big a deal. And especially for Anthony Perkins, who was never really like a draw for the women type of thing. So it wasn't so bad that he was gay.
Yeah, I remember Robert Reed. That was a big deal. Rock Hudson.
It was a surprise, right? Because you had the very fatherly figure, and then of course you had the leading man,
Okay,
romantic.
Is this a cop, and why was she pulled over?
She wasn't pulled over. She had pulled herself over, and he stopped to check on her. Now, you could really get into all the legalities of... See, and this is where someone who knows their rights could say, why do you need to see my license? Have I done something wrong?
Am
I being detained? Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But then again, most people don't even know that today, let alone back then.
How wonderfully intimidating are those glasses he's got on?
Oh, yeah. And that's
Hiding
why
his
they wore them.
eyes perfectly.
Her license plate says anal.
And this was something Slasher Fred brings up. Psycho was the precursor to a lot of 80s slasher movies where the seeming hero of the story is eliminated during the first half of the story because Wes Craven did it in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. Heck, you have, what's the movie Scream, where they kill off Drew Barrymore in the very first scene.
Yeah.
You know?
Slasher Fred mentioned also in Scream.
Oh, and you mentioned Scream. Okay, yeah, yeah. But at the same time, I still contend that although, yes, absolutely, this film is the inspiration for a lot of slasher movies, I don't think that it was written with the slasher story mentality in mind. This was more of a crime drama,
Right.
I think, for Alfred Hitchcock.
But
And two different kinds of crime, right? We had a major theft, and we had murder.
But it does have its horror slasher.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you can't get away from murder without there being a horror element if you're doing it right.
Especially the way that's done in this film.
Yeah, well, especially when you have a repeat offender who clearly has a mental disorder. And again, from the crime story element, right? Her timeline, what part of the problem that she has is, yes, she has the guilt because of the money she took, but she's also got the practical element of being found out. And when her timeline is so publicly visible, right? She goes from her boss seeing her in traffic to a police officer carding her on the street.
Real quick, we at least got one answer. That license plate's from 59. So it's at least after that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and again, the film was from 1960, so you assume your starting assumption is 1960. But you're right.
They
it has
show
to be
the date on the
after that.
newspaper.
Oh, right.
Will they show the date on the newspaper?
I don't know.
He
Well, that
found-
Same
car was
cop,
a-
yeah.
And that car was a 59.
But you're right about it having to be after
Okay,
59.
the cop is a stalker, little stalker kind of thing going on with him.
Right. Psycho has many callbacks to Vertigo, where you have a hotel with key on hooks, which implies the rooms are vacant, and a private detective who is looking for a non-existent female character. Yeah. And so here again, she's going to sell a car. You got to change licenses and stuff, so your identity, she's gonna stand out to this guy because she pays cash. Cop is watching her.
Oh the guy who sells the car
Yes.
was in Star Trek The Next Generation
Okay.
as Uxbridge. Remember the guy who created
Yes, I do.
That's him. I knew
He was
I knew
his
he was
character.
familiar.
I believe the race was Dowd. Am I correct?
Well, I forget exactly.
But he had this godlike ability to create
Right.
illusions or whatever.
He had wiped out the Husnox.
Yes, because they were responsible for the death of his wife.
Yeah, he was a Dowd, an immortal energy being with vast powers.
Yep.
I love it when I find a Star Trek reference in an old film.
And speaking of Star Trek, good evening, Evelyn Hampton. Welcome.
Evelyn Hampton, welcome, my dear. Cosby Link at the top.
Yeah,
She
knows
has
how
yet
this works.
she has yet to make it to the Bates Motel. He was also MacGyver's granddad in the old MacGyver show.
Okay, now that I wouldn't have known. Yeah. And so, of course, again, she's got to take out the money to pay cash. And this is where we see another... oh, no, it's not here. It's at the hotel that she gets rid of the envelope. But again, it's all these little breadcrumbs for the detective to follow. And I'm sure that paying cash has always kind of caused a little bit of thought.
Yeah, and now it's like, why is this cop following her?
In fairness, she has been behaving rather suspiciously.
Where's her suitcase?
Not sure. Oh, right. There you go. I'd forgotten.
That's the one thing. No matter who you are, if you're around a police officer, you feel guilty for something. You might not have done anything, but you always kind of feel guilty.
Yeah. Okay, so Slasher Fred says, let's think about this. The original Friday the 13th is basically Psycho in reverse. Both of them having mother villains who has a hatred towards lovemaking. In Psycho, Norma Bates believes it's corrupt for her son. And in Friday the 13th, Mrs. Voorhees believes it was the cause of her son to be neglected and drowned. Okay, let's spend a little time with that thought. In both cases, the mothers were right. Think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I always wondered, these voiceovers, are these her imagination about what people are saying? Or is that really what's happening?
And how is she hearing it?
Well, she may not be. This could just be exegesis. We're hearing it and she's not. But it's also reasonable that these are thoughts that she's having, because you think through these kinds of possible outcomes and how are you going to deal with them.
All the scenarios playing out in her head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's probably imagining this.
There's some sort of expression almost goes pleased with herself.
Yeah. Well, because like if she's thinking that specific dialogue in her mind, she's like, yeah, he was the sleaze. I'm the one that pulled one over on him. Slasher Fred says, I think that's her imagination. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's probably most likely. I'm just pointing out other possibilities.
Okay, I cannot drive in rain like that. There have been times when Troy and I were driving from Illinois to Ohio to visit his relatives, and it would start raining like that. I'd have to pull over because it's like, I can't see. Somehow or another, he can. So we'd switch places and he would drive.
Ah, a light, a beacon.
Yes.
Bates Motel.
There's a light over at the Frankenstein place.
Over at the stabby place.
Yeah, right. This movie made a generation afraid to take showers. Yeah. And then Jaws comes along and makes you afraid to go in the ocean. I mean, you know, we have generations of people just afraid of water. The original Carrie has...
Maybe
Oh, go ahead.
Max the Psycho, both of them have a shower scene. And instead of having an abusive relationship between the mother and son, you have it between the mother and the daughter.
Yeah, yeah, good point.
One of the greatest creepy houses of all time.
Sir Torrance says, Psycho, the reason I don't take a shower alone. And the Three Bears is why I prefer not to sleep alone. Justification, Sir Torrance. What a great house.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare on Elm Street made you afraid to go to sleep. Friday the 13th, you're afraid to go camping, to have sex, to be alone.
That would be a bad thing for a
motel not to be by the highway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Candyman made me afraid of Chicago.
Is that really her
And
name?
now she's...
No, her name's Marion Crane.
Marion Crane, yeah. But she's... And I mean, let's face it, it's not a great cover. You know, it's still the same first name. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't just the movie Candyman.
I think Norman's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Well, the one little creepy thing he did was he goes to the different numbers, like he's thinking,
Yeah.
which, you know. So Torrance says, I thought living in Chicago would make you scared of Chicago.
Yeah, deleted scene says Chicago made me afraid of Chicago. Yeah. Knowing a little bit about the real world politics of Chicago is enough to make you afraid of Chicago.
Well, I've already done my voting, so voted and sent it in. So Torgay says, oh, now Peter Cetera never hurt anyone. I don't know.
Oh, Chicago.
You've heard those, a couple of his songs a few too many times. It might, I'm just kidding. I actually like Peter Cetera. You know what love was meant to be.
That is a big stack of money.
Yeah, it is.
I wouldn't look to hide it anywhere in the room.
Digby, Welcome, by the way, if I didn't say hi to you earlier.
Ah, I dig me.
Yeah, she doesn't want to put it next to the Bible.
If you leave me now, you take away the biggest part of me.
Yeah, because that doesn't look suspicious at all.
Hide in plain sight.
And what happens when housekeeper comes in, sees the newspaper, wants to read it, and this money falls out?
Well, that does seem like a pretty odd thing. Why would you come into someone's room and want to read their newspaper?
Well, you know,
Well-
they take it for later.
But housekeeping wouldn't come after
Oh, yeah. Good point.
this anyway. You know, it's weird knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat thinking. It's like, what would that actually look like? What's going on?
Wrapping the money up in newspaper? How the Soviets paid off the journalists to ignore all their atrocities. Yeah. But then why are we talking about the New York Times? We're here in Arizona.
She's never quite herself, is she?
Well, yeah. She's, yeah. I think we kind of assume that everyone here in the chat already knows the big, reveal, the big secret of Psycho. I mean, that's right up there with.
What's that? Anybody who is here watching, do you know the end? Just say yes or why or whatever.
I do.
Or let us know if you don't, especially. That's what I really am curious about.
Yeah.
Who does not know how this ends?
Yeah. Digsby knows.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I'm sure most everyone does. I mean, it's right up there with. You usually aren't too concerned when you're watching Planet of the Apes,
Right.
like about spoiling the ending of that one either. Soylent Green, these are all, even at this point, The Sixth Sense. I mean, these are all movies with big, shocking surprise endings that are so well known at this point.
So Tort's like, I'm reasonably sure that my mother doesn't like me calling her mother because of this movie.
Actually, now come to think of it, I think my mom was the same way. Wow, Samuel says, I actually didn't know the twist when I saw it in high school 5 years ago. Okay, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Soylent Green, Planet of the Apes, yeah.
That's saying something. I was something of a film buff for my age at the time. You eat like a bird. Norman, I need to get you a better pickup line. Yeah, exactly. the other thing too is, and obviously they didn't want to get too much into it in this movie, but it is much easier to taxidermize birds because the feathers kind of cover over a multitude of sins. Fur is a little more forgiving than bare flesh, but not as good as feathers. And a lot of people don't realize that there is a lot of art involved in taxidermy.
Oh yeah.
You're literally making a model of the animal from its flesh.
Have you ever seen? There's a movie where a guy, he's a taxidermist. He's a famous taxidermist. Makes a Bigfoot.
No, but that's kind of ingenious.
I forget exactly what it's called. Someone might be able to look it up and let me know. But
does he use bear fur?
He uses various different ones for
Gotcha.
different where it's at.
Sure.
It was like for a special competition or something. They almost
No, I'm not trying. Maybe the only thing I'm trying to tell you, Samuel Proctor, is I would not have the skill to be a taxidermist.
It might have been, was it something like Big Fur? It might have been something like that. But it was a very interesting film.
But if you were to ever like do a search online for like bad taxidermy, like here's a fox and here's a badly taxidermized fox. It's all derpified.
Oh, I like that owl.
Oh yeah. Well, the lighting is key on these.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much shadows can add to a scene.
Yep. His hair is almost all black, like it was inked by Alex Ross. Yeah, I guess so. The googly eyes, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Digby.
He was his delivery, though very monotone, is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's a little understated, which is good. And I don't know how much of that was him and how much of that was the direction he got from Hitchcock.
Because look right here, look at his eyes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is great storytelling because it really does paint Marion as being a bit callous, right? And so you do kind of start empathizing for him, right? I mean, maybe I'm projecting because a lot of people would say that to my mom and me about my brother, and your first instinct is to bristle at that. It's like, do you even realize what you're saying?
some people can overreact. Much like when somebody photoshops your eyes out of a poster, and you get all
we do know
bristled
we'll
about
be
it.
talking about that tomorrow.
You have to. 'Cause,
Oh, we
my
will.
Lord.
We absolutely will.
I imagine the person doing it is probably a big fan and couldn't wait to see the film. And
Yep.
this is the thanks they get.
Yep. See, unfortunately, everyone's going to hear what she said, and they're basically going to go, oh, I see. It's not about the play and our love for it and the character. It's all about you. Well, we don't care about you, so I guess we'll just skip this one. So that's very interesting because now we're also hearing her saying that she's
regretting what she did.
Yeah, and she knows that she could back out of this. She could correct it.
But she's still $700 short.
Well, she'll have to come up with that. But it's a lot easier to come up with $700 than deal with the theft of $40,000.
Mm-hmm.
She lied about her name.
Yeah, I saw that too, Nate. We'll be talking about that tomorrow.
I have something in common with Norman Bates. I actually lived in a motel myself.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when I was growing up, my mother ran the front office of this local motel, and we had the front apartment. And so for me, it was just like, that's how I grew up.
So now here's the big flip, right? You were starting to have a certain amount of empathy for Norman, but then you realize, oh crap, he's a peeping Tom. I mean, even though, yeah, he hangs the picture up and stops, right? He the fact that it exists is kind of enough, right?
The mechanism is in place.
Exactly.
He's done it before.
Right. And but here's the other thing too. When you see him look through that little pinhole, it's like you're looking through the pinhole. And Alfred Hitchcock is literally making you the voyeur. Yeah, and Samuel Proctor just dropped a meme that reminded me that is such an iconic scene. The taking down the picture to look through a hole that's obscured by the picture, that it's been used many, many, many times. Mm-hmm. Sometimes in parody, sometimes just in pastiche. See, she's doing the math. 40,000 minus 700. She's, going through, what am I going to have to do to make this work? Now she's tearing up the paper because it's incriminating. She goes to throw it away, but you can't just throw it in the garbage.
Can she flush it down the toilet?
She's going to try.
Hello.
Now, how many people do you know turn on the water straight onto them like that? I've
No.
never seen that in my life.
Yeah, it's like, as far as I know, people usually turn on the water, wait for it to get to the right temperature, then they get in and under it.
Exactly.
And she must be wearing waterproof mascara because her mascara has not run at all.
Or she's not wearing any at all.
No, she's wearing mascara.
Oh, okay. Yep. And by the way,
That's
Marley Renfro, everyone.
Oh, she was the boob stand-in?
Yeah, well, yes. Playboy cover girl. Did
It's
not
also
have...
Hitchcock doing the stabbing too.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, I can understand that from a director's point of view because those scenes were so meticulous.
Mm-hmm.
They had to be so spot on. It's very difficult to direct someone else through it. For example, we see her reach out, but it's Marley's hand that grabs, and that's her breast in the background.
Are those her feet?
Marley Renfro's, yes. And that is Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Which looks good in black and white.
This scene that we're going to dissolve into, her eye, was shot a ridiculous number of times to get this exactly the way they wanted it.
And it was
But
worth
you can
it.
see the mascara on her
It was
eyes.
worth it. You're right. Good point. And you're right. It's very clearly mascara.
Waterproof because it didn't smear.
What a great shot.
Yep.
And it's like, don't blink. Oh, her eye just moved.
Well, she actually took a breath. That's why it cut to the shower at that moment. Anthony Perkins wasn't even on set, Nate said. He was finishing up a play, and he saw it at the theater with everyone else. That's interesting.
Yeah, but now he's almost $40,000 richer.
And this is what I was talking about, Al. It was literally at this moment that the audio always went off from the, what do you call it? Which implies to me that the shower scene has an edit in it that is restored in the Blu-ray. But I was unable to find any evidence of that online. So Tora says, damn it, mother. This happens every time I have a friend over. Samuel Proctor makes a good point. If she's going to die, she should die looking good.
You should at least turn off the water so it stops getting the bathroom all wet.
Well, I don't know if it's getting the bathroom wet. It's probably just getting her butt wet.
And it is, still washing the blood down the drain, right? So again, this is great storytelling because he is so clearly bothered by this.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of ways, in some of the same ways that Marion was after having taken the money. But this is reactionary. This is, not as well planned out as just like with Marion. She's reactionary. Oh, the cop's seen me. Oh, now, I'm paying cash and he recognizes me. And,
Yeah, well, I mean, crime of passion.
Right.
There was no plan.
Right.
To deal with it.
And yet the hole in the wall was there, right? So you know that this is not a first, a one-off.
Mm.
Wrapped in plastic for convenience.
This is the original Laura Palmer.
Yes. Yeah, well, kind of. I would not be surprised if the whole wrapped in plastic element was not inspired by this.
Since I finished mine, I'm sure you're finished with yours.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
I have to buy a new shower curtain. Does mother think I made him money?
To be completely honest, if you own a motel like that and you have those cheap plastic shower curtains, you probably have a number of them,
No, yeah, they've got
stored up.
there. Well, even like because I live, you live in an apartment building and you see the maintenance guys, and you're like, well, it's like there's something wrong with this. Is I got a ton of them downstairs.
Nate says his Twin Peaks prequel is weird. But then again, if it was a Twin Peaks prequel, I'd say it's pretty spot on. God, wait a second. Think about that for a second. Imagine that the Tony Perkins character is Leland Palmer, younger. This could be a prequel. (1960) or so, the timeline would work out.
How old was Leland?
I don't know, probably about the same age as the actor, and it would pan out.
She get bleach, make sure everything's nice and clean. Reminds me when I had to clean up from a attempted suicide.
In the motel?
No, I worked for a place and
Sure. Oh, that's right. You've told me that.
Yeah. Not a good day.
I would imagine not.
I mean, he survived, but I had to clean it up.
Anthony Perkins would make a good Leland Palmer. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The more I was thinking about it, the more I was thinking that works.
Okay, we know that's a Ford. What kind of Ford is that? Man, that's a big trunk.
Yep, they made them big back then.
Oh, yeah. Baby got back.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't really mean, like, literally. I just meant if they were going to do... If a prequel predated Twin Peaks, this version of Psycho totally would fit the bill. Yep, that's right. That's how you judge a mob car. How many bodies can you fit in the trunk?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we bought our Honda Accord, one of the things we joked about was, how many bodies can we fit in there? And the salesman just kind of looked at us like, are you people serious?
It doesn't help that I have an Italian last name, so...
I'm thinking that.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that. Deleted scenes.
Depends on how much, how big the body is.
True. You know, if it's like one fat guy or,
Yeah.
3 cheerleaders or something like that. Yeah, that sounded very specific. collects up all her belongings because he can't have anything tying her to the motel.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he missed the newspaper, but if he picked up, he would have found almost $40,000.
Yep. 39,300 or so.
Okay.
Well, no, you were not wrong. That is almost 40,000. What the hell? I go weeks without seeing anybody, and now a car pulls by as I'm cleaning up a dead body.
Isn't it always the way, you know?
Samuel says, you keep making these oddly specific explanations, Troy. I think I may have to back away a few steps from the screen. Yeah, because I'm going to reach right out through the screen, Samuel Proctor.
He spotted the newspaper. Will you find the money?
He's not even realizing there's money in it.
No, right
He
in the
just
trunk.
threw it in the trunk, yeah. And you know that everybody who's ever seen this movie is thinking the same thing. Even though, you know, he's covering up a murder and so on and so forth, and he's clearly a peeping Tom and all this kind of stuff, you're still like, but the money! You could have had $40,000! You weren't paying attention, man!
Well, for me, as soon as I pick the thing up, it's like, this feels heavier than a regular newspaper.
It feels thicker than the newspaper should, you know?
Mm-hmm. But he was probably in panic mode.
Yeah, that's probably right, yeah.
Okay, now put the car in neutral and push it the rest of the way into the swamp.
That's the plan, yes. Boy, I wonder how many cars are in that waterway there. And honestly, what are the chances that it would... that does not seem like it should be deep enough to... But I guess it is.
He would know.
Good point. Good point. This isn't his first rodeo, right?
Yeah.
But he's anxiously waiting for it to go down. What the heck is he chewing on?
His thumb.
Just be grinding
Notice
his
how it looks
teeth.
like blood going over the back?
Kinda,
I know
yeah.
it's water, but yeah. It's like, what? Why isn't that going down more?
Looks around to see if there's anyone who might see this. He might be chewing on some gum, too. Yeah, that's kind of a relief.
Brug, 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 brug.
And then next season, during the dry period, it'll be uncovered. Or someone will see it on Google Earth.
Are you trying to get rid of insects, or are you trying to get rid of mice? Because I got a mousetrap for you.
She said insects. She's just big on
Pain,
not causing
pain,
suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah, black and white definitely helps, yeah.
Was it Vera Miles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, catch on, pal.
Read the room. Isn't that the cop? I recognize his nose.
I thought he was an investigator, but
Whatever. No, the cop that pulled her over, and then followed her into the used
No,
car
huh.
place. I recognize his nose. No, maybe it's a different guy, but it's got the same nose.
Yeah, the cop was taller, thinner, longer face.
You're talking about Arbogast?
Yeah, she's comparing the cop to the private investigator.
Oh, yeah, that's way different.
Now, this particular private detective maybe you guys won't see it, but I always thought of him very similar to Columbo.
Oh, yeah, Peter Falk.
Yep.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
She's
sure,
not back
you'll
with the nuts
find
and
her.
bolts. Good help is hard to find. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's probably a good employee. He's just a little dense. Jelly baby.
I was going over Vera Miles's filmography.
Uh huh.
She was in Mazes and Monsters.
Oh, that's right. She was. She was the one character's mom.
Mm. Creepy smell. Mm-hmm. I'm pulling out that gum again. He's nervous.
Very effective with the stutter there.
He is freaking out, and you can tell he is behind his
Yep.
eyes.
Yep.
You know, the original story he had, it's like she came, went to sleep, and left. That's it.
Yeah.
That is a phrase I don't know if a lot of people would get.
Mm.
It doesn't gel, it's not aspic.
Yep. Because, yeah, I mean, nobody serves aspic anymore.
Nah.
There's a reason for that.
Well, yeah. Let's make anything into Jello.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. I mean, I've had some odd things in my day, and it's could be kind of yummy.
Yeah, but fish jello should never be a
mean,
thing.
like what am I thinking of? A mousse, like a salmon mousse.
Yeah.
It's something to try. I figure if you're not adventurous, you could be missing out on a lot of things. Now, I can't go hiking up mountaintops or anything, but I can be adventurous, like trying foods and stuff.
I suppose. Sure.
It's like, hey Norman, remember that time you hijacked a boat in the middle of the North Atlantic? Oh wait.
I was actually going to say this black hole prequel is weird.
It's like my mother did not even meet her. Your warrant needs to have cause. I've told you everything. For you youngins, that's what telephones used to look
Yeah,
like.
yeah, exactly.
You had to put your finger in a hole on the number that you wanted to start off. So, like if you wanted 8, you had to put your finger in the hole
Yeah.
for the 8 and spin it all the way around to the little stop. There's like a little metal stop. You put it in there, then take your finger out and let it dial back. Then choose the next number and do the same thing. And if you didn't quite make it to the stop, you dialed wrong and you had to do it all over again.
I'll tell you, those were pretty satisfying when you were angry and you were, and then when you slammed it down at the end.
Yeah, it's really not satisfying to hit the off button on your cell phone to hang up on someone.
Right.
Or, whatever, disconnect. It doesn't have the same thing. Those phones, you could slam it down, you would hear that BAM!
I had a friend of mine posted on Facebook today. He found like a desktop one. It's not a rotary though. It does have the buttons, but still that old Bakelite. Hit a guy upside the head. Kind of a phone.
Yeah.
What's he gonna kill this guy too? How much room you got in that swamp? Did he get out of that side of the car because the camera's on this side and he was going to get in the way?
Possibly.
Because I've never seen anybody get out of their car by sliding over to the passenger seat.
Well, keep in mind, too, that's when you had bench seats and you could do that easily.
God, I miss bench seats.
I know. But they were a pain to adjust when you were in the driver's seat.
True, yeah. But if it was your car, once you got it where you wanted it.
True. Very true.
Apparently, you can still buy old-style rotary dial landline phones.
Yes, you can. You can even get them in a style where you could plug it into a what do you call this?
Phone
Like in the
jack?
computer. USB, yeah.
Oh, USB?
Yep.
Deleted season taxidermy, not my thing. Long story. Samuel Proctor's like, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that speech on rotary phones, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah. People of a certain age have very strong emotional ties to, yeah, very specific things, yeah.
So he just goes walking into somebody's house?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, you're about to get dead. You walk into my house unannounced and I didn't invite you? You're dead.
That's what Kamala said.
Yep.
Such a great scene coming up.
Yes, yes it is.
Yeah, it's so well done.
This is the equivalent of a modern day jump scare, really. It's not really, but, kinda.
Now watch this shot. Look at it.
Yep.
Grandma spry.
Stab, stab,
Or
stab.
mother, I should say.
Yeah.
Leah says he knew when he first saw the movie, he knew about the shower scene, but not that one. I jumped out of my socks. You know, a lot of people will put down a good jump scare, but it's still such an effective tool if you do it right.
See, that's just it. If it's done right, so
Right.
many are just
They're
cheap
just done-
scares.
They're cheap
and
scares.
it's like, and if the rest of the movie around it doesn't earn it, it's like, nah, get out of here.
You know what a good jump scare is? Exorcist 3. Do you know what I'm talking
It's
about?
been so long since I've seen that. I am in fact doing an Exorcist double feature in a couple weeks.
Cool. But you're looking down the hallway of the hospital, and the nurse
Yes,
and then just whoom right across the thing.
yeah.
Just such a great shot.
Although I think a lot of people would disagree with me on it being an Exorcist double feature. I guess technically it's a William Peter Blatty double feature. It's The Exorcist and The Ninth Configuration, which Blatty has often said was, in his mind, the second movie in his...
I could do Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Nope. Like I was saying, Blatty said that The Ninth Configuration was his Exorcist 2. If his trilogy was the first movie, The Ninth Configuration, and Exorcist 3.
Mm-hmm. Remember, Exorcist 3 was kind of big around here because it was shot in D.C.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. Well, the original Exorcist, because
Yeah.
that's where the stairs are in D.C. That's a great old character actor, too.
Yep.
John McIntyre.
It definitely sounds like a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, who's this old couple they're talking to?
He's the sheriff.
Oh.
Or deputy sheriff, or something like that.
What bad business? Tell us more.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm really surprised that neither of them have said, Don't know why you're talking about his mother. His mother died, blah, blah, blah.
Arbogast.
Arbogast.
I hear you said it, Arbogast. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. I love how
Yeah.
that's a nice little twist.
Yeah.
A little twist on the twist.
And see, this is what I mean. It again keeps bringing it back to the, like true crime-esque type,
Mm-hmm.
story. In other words, in my mind, Psycho is not an outlier in Alfred Hitchcock's repertoire. This is very much in his wheelhouse.
Okay, Norman Bates has no butt.
Yeah, and it kind of sachets back and forth as he goes up the stairs.
Oh, so he was gay.
Don't say anything, Al. Don't say anything.
I mean, yes, he was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, in real life.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Closeted gay guy. I said I felt like he drew on that as he was playing the role. Any idea who did the voice of his mother? Because it wasn't him.
Oh, I don't. Let me see. Virginia Gregg, Paul Jasmine, and Jeanette Nolan made uncredited appearances as the voice of Norma Mother Bates.
Wow, more than one person, huh?
They were used interchangeably, except for the speech in the final scene, which was performed entirely by Virginia Gregg.
Gotcha.
That's so freaky, considering what you find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Fairvale Church. Wonder what the. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. I need a few more to know where you were going with it.
Denomination is the word I'm looking for. I couldn't get congregation out of my head. And I knew that wasn't right. Denomination.
If I was to guess, I would say probably, like I was going to say probably a non-denominational Protestant church.
very childlike.
Yeah.
It's a nice thermometer on the wall back there. Nice little
Yeah.
framed. Makes you wonder where a lot of the set pieces are now.
Yeah, stuff like this, it depends on if it was, if it was a set or if it was a location shot.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this was a set, so you're right. I don't know. Deleted Scene said he sent you a DM.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
On X. Okay. So Laurie Metcalf and Tom Hollander joined Monster season 3 as Ed Gein's mother and Alfred Hitchcock.
Interesting.
Mm. Ed Gein will be played by Charlie Hunnam. Gein is the inspiration for the character Norman Bates in Psycho. In fact, that will be explored in Monster as Hollander, who will be playing director Alfred Hitchcock, and Williams will be playing Hitchcock's wife, Alma. Okay, which Williams? Olivia Williams. Very cool.
Evelyn saw the Psycho house on the Universal Studios tour. Looks really creepy because it's built on a slight angle. Yeah.
Thank you, Deleted Scenes.
If I remember correctly, the house was reconstructed for that TV series, the Bates Motel.
Well, I thought it was on. Yeah, what happened? I missed something.
Oh, it's not there anymore.
Oh, okay, they did.
Yeah, they took it down. Same with the Addams family, or was it the Addams family? No, the Munsters house. That's what it was. The Munsters house, which actually was one of the houses on
1313 Mockingbird Lane.
Right, which was one of the houses on
What's that? The
what's that show with the women? Desperate Housewives.
Oh, yeah.
And it had been, I don't know if, I think they completely tore down that house eventually, so they had to reconstruct it for that movie that Rob Zombie did. He did a pretty good job of that.
Oh, the Monsters?
Yeah. Isn't that what I said, the Munsters? Or did I say the Addams Family house? I'm sorry.
No, Monsters. No, he did Rob Zombie did the Monsters.
Right.
Which
Right.
I wasn't a fan of. Just, I don't know.
The Rob Zombie movie, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things to like about it, but there was a lot of things that just fell short.
Right.
You know?
And some things just hit me wrong and took me out of it. That's one thing, being taken out of a movie for me. Well, that hurts it. I like
Yeah.
being absorbed into it.
And there's no shower curtain.
See, this is interesting. They're finding clues, but they're jumping to the wrong conclusions.
Right.
Can you?
Might be able to handle a sick old woman, but what if the sick old woman isn't a sick old woman?
days before security cams.
Right.
Whoop.
As a matter of fact,
That was a little bit of a jump.
did you catch that? He kind of waves
Yeah.
her on.
Mm-hmm. That is a cool looking house, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a jalopy back there?
Could be.
Like how, like, just focuses right on her face every time it's on her.
Yeah.
No long shots or anything. It was just like her face approaching.
Those are a lot of stairs.
House is not ADA approved.
No,
Nope.
no. I don't think that was a consideration for
No.
Second Empire Victorian style houses.
Yeah. I wonder what the layout of that house is like. You know, the floor plan. Nice room. Be nice to have like a bedroom with its own fireplace.
Ours should not that room and look elsewhere.
That's a well dented mattress.
Ask and you shall receive. I just DM'd you something on MeWe.
Who, me?
Yep.
What did I ask?
You'll see when you look at your DM.
Oh, okay. Oh, the layout. Oh, sweet.
Yep.
I
Isn't
love
that
a
cool?
That is cool.
Okay, you're supposed to be looking for a lady. Why are you looking at records?
Well, I have an answer for that. Again, it plays to the whole voyeuristic element of the film, right? You're in somebody's house, you don't belong there. You are looking for something specific, but
She's looking for a person.
you go snooping around because you can.
She doesn't have a lot of time.
And it can give you a little insight into the person. Look at his finger.
Yeah.
Wow, I think it was going.
See, again, he doesn't know anything about $40,000.
No, he doesn't.
Snooping around your house.
Hide behind the door or something.
I think the one thing that there is, of course, a basement, and that floor plan I just sent you doesn't contain that.
I always find this stuff fascinating, like the layout of the Brady house or the
Yeah.
apartments.
Well, I've done a lot of that because I like to reconstruct some of these houses in The Sims. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that the exteriors and the interiors don't always match up.
You've been found out now. Don't just stand there, hit him with something.
Right?
The man is useless. Handling it.
And again, the swinging light source, yeah.
That light with the eyes, sockets.
Or the vacant eyes, yeah, exactly. I've examined Norman, and I have decided that my diagnosis is he's fruitier than a nut cake.
Mm-hmm. Leigh is saying the scene the movie doesn't need.
Yeah, it is kind of spoon feeding it to you.
Mm-hmm. Samuel Proctor says, brothers, I looked at my brother's face in the theater. He was dumbstruck. He didn't know the twist either.
Interesting. And here's another thing I'll say. I think the audience in 1960 was very different than the audience of today. There were probably people who needed this kind of an explanation to understand the concept of dissociative disorder.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm not saying that the film needs it, but I don't mind it being in it at all. Man, to let today's generation have a field day getting into this one.
Yeah.
Feels a little chill.
Yeah.
I just this scene, the way this
Yep.
film ends, is so spectacularly creepy. The smile
Yeah.
and the fade out.
Those eyes.
Yep.
The skull.
Oh, that skull
in the- yeah.
appearing. That is
Yeah.
just so brilliant.
Well, there's one car. And once they find the lady in the trunk, they'll find the money too.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, you're right. They would find the money too, wouldn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is Psycho, a masterpiece from
It
Alfred
really
Hitchcock.
is.
The way it's shot, the way the story unfolds, and how it just twists into something you don't expect.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine audiences going to see this and not knowing what it was about. I mean, today it's hard to watch any movie without like the entire rundown being on Wikipedia like 2 days before it comes out.
True.
And this is the kind of film. Can you imagine not knowing anything
Yeah.
and just how it unfolds? Just absolutely brilliant. I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as we did, and that is the end of Hitchcocktober on the Saturday Night Films with Friends. But there is one more spooky season Films with Friends left before Halloween, and that is this coming Friday. Be joined by Deleted Scenes and Outlaw Bill. We're going to be watching the 1958 sci-fi horror classic. Well, classic, I guess you'd call it classic. The Crawling Eye, also known as the Trollenberg Terror. But there's a lot of stuff that happens between now and then, starting with tomorrow, or as everybody calls it on YouTube, Deleted Scenes Day. Yeah, I'm sure he has Western Cinema tomorrow. If Deleted is here, please let us know what the film is tomorrow on Western Cinema, on Outlaw Bill's channel, starting at, I want to say 4 o'clock, usually 3:30, 4 o'clock. 10 night equals cap on the door guarding. Oh, he's the cop one. Oh, I didn't know that. I have to go back and look at that.
I know, right?
Yeah, I never thought. Just like Leonard Nimoy is in Them, the Ant movie.
Oh, yeah, that one I know, sure.
Sweetie, will you close your Cosby? So I'm messaging creepy Norman Bates.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
He's got it up on our TV screen, and it's like, I don't want to be looking at that.
What's the percent is The Burrowers, Sunday at 4. Tomorrow at 4.
Cool.
Of course, that'll he'll be following that up with Unscripted at 8 o'clock, which then will lead into Geeky Geezers on Age of Boomers channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central, where they will be discussing the week in geek.
Yep.
And all kinds of stuff.
Including another psycho going crazy over a fan edit of a poster.
Oh,
and we say goodbye to Mitzi Gaynor.
Yes, with Mitzi Gaynor passing. And after that, Deleted Scenes after shortly after midnight on the other side of midnight, about 12:05. He'll be joined by a variety of guests.
All rogues and ne'er-do-wells.
Rogues and ne'er-do-wells. That'd be a great name for a YouTube channel.
Rogues and ne'er-do-wells.
Sure. Rogues and ne'er-do-wells. Monday night, last call at the movies. What you got for us this week?
Very special Halloween double feature with special returning guest Sin's Corner. We will be watching Halloween and Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. In my headcanon, the only Halloween films.
Yeah, the only Halloween films we ever needed.
Exactly.
The way they were intended to be, if Halloween 2 was actually Halloween 3, it would have been much better. So yeah, that's a good double feature. Tuesday, live at Sparkwood 21 at about 8 o'clock, 8:30.
7:30. Yeah, I guess it would be 8:30 your time.
8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central.
Episode 17 of Twin Peaks: The Return, the penultimate episode. These last two episodes are big, folks. You might want to get in there and check them out. See how the whole thing wrapped up.
Geek Flag say Halloween 2 was good. What are you guys talking about? I mean, it's a passable slasher, but it wasn't anything.
Yeah, I prefer John Carpenter's original vision of the Halloween series being an anthology.
And I love the ending of the original Halloween where it's just like, it's the boogeyman. The boogeyman.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Where did I leave off?
Some things don't require a sequel.
Then after live from Sparkwood 21, Blake 7 rewatch.
Yep. Next episode.
Does that have an official name, or are you just calling it the Blake 7 rewatch?
I'm just calling it Last Call Presents Blake 7.
Okay. There you go.
It is the episode is called Seek, Locate, Destroy, and a new villain character is a recurring, beloved villain character is introduced.
Very, very mystery movie night podcast live with Sin Corner off the cover and Kyle Corwith, 7 p.m. Eastern. And is that Monday or Tuesday?
Is what Monday or Tuesday?
What deleted scenes just put.
Yeah, he didn't put he
Yeah.
didn't put a day. Wednesday, nothing. I mean, I think
Tuesday.
But I thought we were. Oh, it's Tuesday. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wednesday. Anything going on?
No, I don't believe so. No.
Is there an action theater deleted scenes? If there is, let us know. Thursday
over on Netters Network Thursday Things. My special guest will be Tom Conkle.
Yep.
Ooh,
Now,
very good.
because I have actually gotten my 3,000 watch hours, Tom is going to come on, and we're going to have a special giveaway of an autographed copy of Trouble Is My Business, which Tom was the director, producer, and main actor in.
Yep.
He also wrote it. Writer, producer, director, he did everything. Now, I'm not monetized yet because YouTube is being a pain in the tuckus.
Mm-hmm.
But to celebrate me getting to at least the 3,000 watch hours, we're going to have this special giveaway. Tom will also be talking about giving us an update on Island in the Stars, where that is right now, what else is going on, when things are going to start happening, or what's happening, or what's been happening, whatever. Because I don't know if they started filming yet, or they're still collecting funds and doing things to get the movie going. But he will give us an update on all of that. So yeah.
Very cool. And then, of course, like I said, on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, The Crawling Eye here on Films with Friends, the Friday night edition. And that's always a fun one. And then following that, of course, Last Call with Troy Pacelli. The alcohol will be flowing. I'm
Of
assuming.
course.
What's going on Friday night?
Well, we're going to have a very interesting little watch party of the Paul in Halloween special.
Always fun. You're still going to try to find the other one. If you do, I'm not going to mention
I am still trying to find. It's funny because
I'll take a look too.
see if you can find it, because we're going to have to get a little creative trying to find it, because Aged Boomer literally saw it just a couple days ago, and it was taken down by copyright claim. Literally within the past 24 hours.
Don't you
So I'm
hate
like,
people like that?
darn it.
Ruining
Yeah, they could have
everybody's
waited a
fun.
day. Yeah, exactly. But if nothing else, it'll at least be the Paul in with Kiss and Witchy Poo and the Wicked Witch of the West, and a little bit of background, like we did last year, to explain the concept of the holiday variety show special of the 70s.
Very cool. That'll lead us into next Saturday, where I don't know what the film is for Netters.
We will be watching Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Yep.
So
From 1988. Yep.
I was thinking about that yesterday when I saw the scene of her kind of busting out a little.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Awesome.
And is it too early to ask you what the theme is for November?
November, the first two films are sci-fi comedies. Going to be watching Galaxy Quest and The Ice Pirates. And on the last, because I have three, the last one is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, the day after Black Friday. We're going to be watching Paul Blart Mall Cop.
I have not seen it. So
It's a fun
Yeah.
movie. It's a fun movie.
Good.
And of course, that'll lead into December. The first one in December is the Journey to Bethlehem musical that they did last year,
Huh.
which I just loved. I thought, let's share it. Why not? And then, of course, the Saturday after Christmas, we're going to be watching Lethal Weapon, the original.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the new year with a bang.
Why not?
And I'm already starting to think I've already got the machine of my brain working for the first few months. Got a few cool ideas I'll tell you about after we log off, because I don't want to give anything away just yet.
All subject to change, by the way, people. Just disclaimer.
You never know. I gotta. You never know when inspiration will come. The Saturday night ones I plan pretty much through the year. Like by the time January starts, I'll probably have the full year booked out. But the Friday night ones, the every other Friday night one, that I kind of leave open for just an inspiration or a little lightning strike from the heavens to see what's going on. But sorry, I was looking at something, trying to find something here. But yeah, that's what's coming up for the rest of the year. But yeah, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff coming out for next year. I think I like some of the things I got in my brain, and a few of them may not happen, but that's what Friday's for.
Yeah.
Yep, the listeners, thank you for putting it. Yeah, also known as the Trollenberg Terror. Man, I could see why they had to change that name for American audiences. I don't think anybody would have bought it. I want 2 tickets to the Trollenberg Terror. But the Crawling Eye, yeah, that gets butts in the seat.
Yeah, true.
So Troy, any last words? Anything?
No, I just want to thank everybody for all the support. Thanks just for coming and hanging out with us and enjoying the films with us, especially when you guys are dropping trivia, stuff I didn't know about. That's what makes this great.
Delisies did mention Action Theater presents Something Wicked This Way Comes Thursday at 4:30. Great film from this time of year. I'm going to put in my final stuff before I throw it to Netter. Of course, look at my channel for some of my 10-word reviews. I got up Woman of the Hour, Salem's Lot, whatever else I've got up. Wild Robot, which is now on Prime. Very quick to hit Prime, that one did. But what else? Am I forgetting some? Terrifier 3, Caddo Lake. I highly suggest Caddo Lake. VHS Beyond, Rebel Ridge. That's on now. A lot of good. A lot of these are good movies. Couple clinkers here and there, but I've been watching a lot of really good movies lately. So yeah, check out my reviews on that and see what you guys think. See if you agree or disagree, or just kind of interested but don't want to watch the other movie. But of course, before we go, the lovely Netter. I was pausing for dramatic effect, and I waited a little too long in my own head. I'm like, say something. The lovely Netter will, of course, escort us out in the way only she can. Netter, please.
Bye.
Well, you heard it, folks. Bye. We don't care about you anymore.
She was holding on to that one. Wow.
Seriously, though, I do want to thank all of you for the many, many ways that you support all of us, coming into our streams, doing the chats, the thumbs up, sharing out the streams for those who are monetized, doing the super chats, super stickers, memberships, and all that. And I'm not there quite yet because YouTube keeps giving me the stupid hassle of insisting I have a second AdSense account up, and I don't. Anyway, I do have my 3,000 watch hours, and as soon as I actually become monetized, I will have another giveaway, or I'll have a special Thursday things where I will have a special giveaway to celebrate more my actually being monetized.
Yeah.
When that finally happens. But until then, we can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room. We're enjoying each other's company. We're having a great time. Pass the popcorn? Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys, you know you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so very much. I mean, you could be anywhere right now, and you're here with all the rest of us psychos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it means a lot to us that you are in each of our streams, and you're not just encouraging us being here, you're encouraging one another. And that's just so wonderful to see and hear, read the comments. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of our family. Just thank you so much for being Osmo. And until next time, which will be, what day of the week is this? Saturday. Sunday, over on Deleted Scenes all day, every day. And then Geeky Geezers later on Sunday night. Good night, and God bless.
I'm only 115 watch hours away from 3,000.
Well, there you go.
I'd like to thank everyone, of course, for being here. God bless you all. Have a wonderful Sunday and a very happy and safe week ahead. Still in the spooky season. Enjoy those Halloween films that are out there, including the ones that Troy will be showing on Monday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Take care, everyone. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Night.